So I already went off on a little small rant a couple minutes ago. Anyways, but as I was saying before, I'm very upset, just trying to calm myself down and process everything that happened today. Basically, what happened was my dad told me to go buy the drinks and take a look at the sugar content. So as I'm heading over there, I see a little girl, very young girl, and not too young, but probably like in her preteens or whatever, or something like that. And her grandmother, she was with her grandmother. And now that I'm thinking about it, the young girl was kind of latched on to her grandmother. And so I walked by them nonchalantly, just going about my day, just doing what my dad had asked. And as I'm walking by, I stare them both right in the eyes, just as I usually do normal people, because I'm a socially awkward person. I'd usually smile, but I had a mask on. But then I just stared at them right in their eyes as I walked by on my way to the drinks. So I'm looking at the drinks, looking at each bottle. And in the background, I could hear somebody talking. I could hear somebody say, "Are you okay, ma'am? Are you okay?" So while I'm looking at the drinks, I could still hear what's going on in the background. So I'm staring at, the drinks, sugar content of the drinks for about 3 to 5 minutes. And I kid you not, right when I turned around and I was on my way headed back towards where the younger girl was and her grandmother, the grandmother fell out. She fell out. Like nobody was there to catch her, or it's like she just froze up and literally fell out. Like, I stared into her eyes. I stared into her eyes as she fell. But that wasn't the only thing that was traumatic, because I had never experienced this before, but she fell hard too, and her head had hit the ground, and it was like straight out of a movie scene. Like, as she fell down, I could see my dad standing right behind her. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, why didn't he catch her? Why didn't he dive to catch her? I couldn't tell how close he was to her, but that's the question that just kept rolling around in my head. Just why didn't he catch her? Why didn't he catch her? As I looked around, I mean, it just seemed like everybody was frozen. Like, I was just looking around, seeing if somebody would come help. It didn't seem like anybody had any urgency in that moment but me. And I couldn't do anything but just stand there. In that moment, I felt so helpless, so useless. Like what could I do? Like, this lady fell. Okay, people could hear that somebody fell or something happened. Is nobody really about to call an ambulance? For real? Y'all are just gonna stand there and stare? Like, is somebody gonna help? So it felt like it took forever for somebody to come over to her side and help. I don't know where this lady came from, but bless you, ma'am, for coming in there and just checking on her, seeing if she was okay, trying to figure out what's wrong, Apparently she was diabetic or something. She had high blood pressure, or low blood pressure rather. And thankfully she was there. She knew what she was doing, because I had no idea. I had no idea. I felt so helpless. That I'm still trying to process it all, like what happened, because it was a lot that went on. Like, I mean, from afar, I could see this Asian dude, owner of the store apparently, and I'm staring at him, and all he's doing is he's standing there, like just staring at the lady on the floor, like literally frozen, like bro, are you gonna do something? Are you gonna reach for a phone? Like, what you doing? Like, it was just, I was baffled. I was so baffled. I was disgusted. I was like, there's no sense of urgency with, like, the majority of these people in here. And I'm just looking around to see everybody else's reaction. And, you got some just staring, probably because they don't know what to do either. You got others that are just minding their own business, standing in line, ordering food or whatever, going about their day as if it's just a regular day in the hood. It was frustrating to see. And this lady she was on the ground for a total of, let's say, 15 to 20 minutes after she fell and had already hit the ground. Now keep in mind, this lady could have had a concussion. She could have had a concussion. And she could have been bleeding, like, internally. And there was just no sense of urgency with the ambulance either. So apparently, there was this lady in the store who worked there, and she was, like, cooking the food or whatever. Thank God for her, bro, because she said that they had her, the ambulance or some emergency people or somebody, had her on hold for 7 freaking minutes. 7 freaking minutes. This lady could have been dead by then. So on top of that, when she finally does get a hold of them, they take what felt like 15 to 20 minutes to get there. My dad is just standing over there, just waving a fan at the lady to cool her down, cool her off, just trying to keep her awake, make sure she's okay. I'm still standing there, like, just in disgust, in awe, and just so many emotions that went through me at the time. That it was so frustrating, because I saw that grandmother on the ground, and I could see my grandmother. I could see my grandmother through her eyes. That's what it felt like to me. That's how much I put myself in that situation, as if it were my grandmother, because that's who she reminded me of. Now, one of my grandmothers actually passed away. So, like, to see that, I don't know how I didn't cry. I don't know how I didn't break down and cry, but, like, the whole time I kept my composure, just trying to figure out, make sure the grandmother was okay. And I felt bad for the granddaughter, because ain't no telling what was going through her mind. Because I know what was going through mine. I was concerned, legit concerned. Like, as if it were my own grandmother. Now, keep in mind, the grandmother and the granddaughter, they were Hispanic. And my dad told me, he said, that's how they do us in the hood, or where, a whole bunch of minorities live. He said that's just how they do us. They take what seems like forever just to get there after a call. But in whiter neighborhoods, or like neighborhoods where there's not really too many minorities, like where they got money and all that, they'll come in 30 seconds. They'll come in 30 seconds. And that alone was frustrating to me because, like, y'all, I don't like getting into, I never wanted to be in medical school. I never wanted to go. I never thought about it. But that experience, it made me want to be a part of that. Like, legit. Because who's going to help our people? Who's going to help the minorities or come to their rescue when they call for help, 911 or an ambulance? It's frustrating. Still trying to process everything, trying to calm down. I can't even eat. I don't want to eat because I'm so frustrated. But yeah, it's sad, but that's the reality of it, I guess. I mean, what can be done about it? Y'all let me know. Because I don't know what to do. It's so frustrating. It's like frustrating how minorities are treated in this country. Like, just no sense of urgency. None. Wow. Anyways, I just wanted to let y'all know what was going on in case there are people out there who have no idea what goes on in the hood because you try to avoid it, or, you know, you don't really go there, or you don't know anybody from there. And if you do, chances are you probably don't know what goes down, but this was just one of those things. And I hope I enlightened y'all to reality in some sort of way. Like, to inspire or motivate somebody to actually have a human heart and have the sense of urgency to save a life, you know? So, yeah, but I'm gonna try and force myself to eat, and, yeah.